Hello, welcome to another episode of Shine Like a North Star. My name's Kerri Burchill, and I am excited to spend a couple of minutes with you today just pulling out of that day-to-day spin, the firefighting and the go, go, go that every leader I know gets caught in. So welcome. Good to spend a few minutes with you today. We're going to talk about how you can get ahead with culture as the tool to really align and make your work more efficient in your leadership role and with your teams. So that may sound like a big chunk, right? Culture, which we can sort of loosely define as culture is what happens when nobody's working. So when you think about some of the productivity pushes, challenges that you're facing with, let's say, staffing, budgets, supply chain, the pervasive things that keep happening post-COVID, there's a lot of pressure to meet those deadlines, outcomes, productivity targets, and culture is so squishy compared to all of these go, go, go things. So I want to bring those two things together and give you 3 strategies that is going to help you merge those two so that the work becomes streamlined and you're not spending so much energy in the spin, and likewise your team isn't spending that energy in the spin. So let's dive in. The first step is really hear people spinning. So I've done multiple YouTubes about active listening, which I say is the hardest soft skill out there. When I say hear it in step number 1 of getting ahead with culture, I'm not talking about active listening. You just need to hear what they're saying. That's it. We're not actively listening to that. We are listening to it. We're going to hear it. So let's say that somebody complains and says, "Oh, do you have that schedule out yet?" Which is an asshole question to begin with, because they know the schedule always comes out on Thursday at noon, let's say. So you're hearing their request about the schedule and you're just stopping there, okay? So the first step is just to hear it. The second step is to translate. Why do they care about the schedule being out? Probably because they have some plans, or maybe they're hoping to get approved for a day off or something, right? Translate what you know about that employee. So let's say that somebody asks me for a schedule. They know it comes out every Thursday and it's Wednesday. Hello, right? Like, back off a little bit, but I don't respond. I don't get pulled into that spin, that asshole trap. I slow down and I hear them wanting the schedule and I'm thinking, why do they want the schedule? Translating it, right? And that's when I might say something like, it sounds like you might have some things on the go that you're really wanting the schedule, and you're aligning it as a third step. I'm so glad you asked, because that tells me that you want to respect the schedule and really make sure that we're doing everything we can to be here for whatever the goals are of the team, right? So you hear it, translate it, and then align it. So that person could be stuck on, "Oh, why is it taking so long on the schedule?" And you're shifting that. You're really taking the story in their head and you're realigning them into that. So let me give you a bit of a culture analogy, not analogy, but a framework to think of this through. It's not very helpful, is it? You have now a beautiful view of my backdrop. Okay, so bug, leave it. Dog barking, that was like my debut into this. Okay, so when we think about what drives culture, people have experiences at work, right? So let's say I have an experience with this dog barking too much, right? See, sorry, I knew it was going to happen. Bug, come here. Let's say that we have an experience, right? And the experience is the dog barks. I believe that I can never go live anymore because the dog barked. So my action is to stop going live, and the results are you never benefit from these tips to help you in your leadership. Right, so that's a story in my head. Differently, let's say that I have an experience where the dog barked and you help me understand that being authentic on the live is important, right? And that changes my actions because I'm going to just be real during it, which is going to drive results of me being there more often. So ultimately, what you're really doing is you're helping me create a story about my experience. If you leave me alone to my story, that might shift the thinking and the mindset that you want me to have. So experiences drive stories that drive beliefs. Okay, so when we think about that in terms of our steps here, let's say that we have somebody else and they're wearing safety glasses and they're just really uncomfortable and they're complaining about safety glasses. Obviously, if we're in a manufacturing environment, we want people to be safe, right? So the first thing is hear them complaining about the safety glasses. Okay, then I'm going to translate it. What is it about this, right? It's uncomfortable. Well, how do I want that safety glasses to be aligned with the whole safety culture in the plant, right? So somebody might say, oh man, I am sick and tired of wearing these glasses. They're so uncomfortable. Nothing ever happens around this machine that's ever going to put my eyes at risk, right? So they've already got an experience which drives their story. Their action is going to be to take off their glasses, and then the result's going to be some piece of metal flies and we have an injury, right? Like, I mean, just Murphy's Law would kind of have that go down, right? So at the third step, I want to recognize that I've heard them, and then I'm translating and I'm saying, yeah, the glasses are uncomfortable, and man, way better than losing an eye. That would really suck. So thanks for wearing them, right? I'm just translating and moving people into a different way of thinking about that experience, a different story. Okay? So we're shifting mindsets just by subtly giving them a different way to look at their experience. Last example is a colleague of mine was just sharing with me that they work in a company, and the company's made an announcement that there are no raises. So now I have an experience that there aren't any raises. So let's just go back to this this piece here. So I have an experience, no raises. Ugh, right? I believe that my hard work doesn't matter anyway. It's not being recognized. So my action is to kind of become less engaged, more laissez-faire. And the results are my leader may not meet some of those ambitious targets. So I want to have a story to help shift my thinking around the raise. So let's say I go to you and I say, oh, I can't believe that we're not getting raises. It's a really tough year, right? You're thinking, what could be driving that comment? So you're translating it just quietly in your head as a leader. So maybe I had some financial commitments that I'm not going to be able to do. Maybe I don't feel valued. Maybe I'm anxious. Maybe I'm questioning the sort of security of the company. You know your employees, right? Take a stab at something. And what's really interesting about the translate step is if I'm totally off target as a leader translating and kind of helping this person with a different story, that person's going to tell me. So don't worry, it's not about being right. It's just about helping shift the story we have, because that drives the culture and the engagement around what's happening. So the third step would be to align it. So I might say to that person who's complaining about not getting a raise, saying, yeah, no, it's a hit to not get a raise, and really it's going to be worth it on the backside when our company is just in a really stable place and we're not going to have to go through all the stuff we're doing now. So it'll be worth it, right? Give them that hope on the horizon. You may have a different line that resonates for you in that same predicament. It doesn't matter what the line is, as much as you're driving them towards the culture and the mindset that you want them to have around their experiences. Yeah. So let's take a look at once more at this pyramid. So we really want to hear their stories, then translate them, and then align it with what you know needs to be happening in that environment. All right, you've got it. Step 1, hear it. Step 2, translate it, align it. And there you have 3 steps to really get ahead with culture to help you achieve your ambitious goals, where everyone's sort of rowing in the same direction. We get that it might be tough, but man, it's going to be worth it on the other side. And we really have a more synergistic team working together. I'd love to hear about your strategies around this kind of thing. I'm the proud president of North Star Coaching. You can reach me at kerriburchill.com. I'm always happy to connect with people and just talk about the challenges inherent in leadership and just processing with you, slowing down together. Take care.